everyone. Sorry for the inconvenience. I hope I'm connected back. Okay. May I have a voice check first? Can you all hear me? Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for the confirmation. Welcome back. And sorry for the inconvenience. Welcome to the third ASEAN EU Cooperation and Scholarships Day on the webinar number 5. I will repeat what I said earlier. So in today's session, we will have 3 presentations. First one is French government scholarships will be delivered by Mr. Sylvain Lelong-Lecroix. As the National Coordinator of Campus France Indonesia, we will also hear a presentation from Ms. Carol Staunton, Deputy Head of Mission Embassy of Ireland, who will be delivering a presentation on study in Ireland. Last but not least, we also have a presentation on Erasmus Mundus Joint Master's Degree, which will be delivered by Ms. Destriani Nugroho, Program Manager, Delegation of the European Union to Indonesia. Hello, all speakers. Welcome, and we will begin the presentation shortly. However, I would like to encourage all participants to introduce yourselves in the chat box. You may write down your name, where you come from, your institution, and should you have any questions, please do not hesitate to write it down in the chat box, as we will have a question and answer session at the end of the presentations. So without further ado, I would like to invite the first speaker. But beforehand, may I ask who will be sharing screen for the committee? Okay, so I will just give the floor. The committee will share the screen, right? Can we have the screen first before I give the floor? So I see a lot of participants writing down their names. Some of them are from Indonesia, from Philippines, Mabuhay, and then from other some countries. Yogyakarta, Surabaya. It's nice. Okay, so many participants from Indonesia. We will be, okay, so we already have the PowerPoint presentation. I would like to invite Mr. Silvon to have the floor. Good afternoon, Mr. Silvon. Yeah, for the committee.
Okay.
You may have the floor, Mr. Silvon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the invitation. So my name is Sylvain from the French Embassy, and I am the National Coordinator of Campus France Indonesia. So I will start my presentation. Could you please share my PPT, please? Hello? Okay, thank you. I will talk about 5 scholarships today. Um, I have to say that you will see some registration date for all scholarships which has passed, but of course the students are still invited to apply next year and at the same period. And the second point is that the first and the second scholarship are from Indonesian students, and the other one for all the international students. Thank you. Next slide, please. So the first one is called Beasiswa Parcial D3 S1. What's the program? This scholarship program is for Indonesian students with a profile of excellence and willing to integrate into the first cycle of studies. So from the diploma to the bachelor's degree. It is open to all fields of study. The eligibility conditions are you have to be Indonesian. The age limit is 21 years old or less, and you have to hold a high school diploma at least. So a profile of excellence and a strong motivation to continue your studies in France. You have to be already accepted by a French higher education um, institution for the following year, and you should not receive a scholarship from another party. There is some application prerequisites, such as you have to hold a passport or a KTP, you have to prepare a CV and a cover letter, a letter of acceptance from a French higher education institution, and that is very important, you have to be able to prove your level of French. So it could be with the DELF or DALF, or in English with the TOEFL, for example, as well as the high school diploma and its transcripts. So as you can see, the registration is on May and June, and you will get the results at the end of June. What are the amounts and the benefits? This scholarship will cover the visa fees, the course fees if you need to improve your French until the B2 level, and the travel expenses, including a round trip ticket, and the CVEC, which is the Student and Campus Life contribution, and another thing that is very important, priority access to the student residence. Next, please. Okay, so this one is also for all the Indonesian students. That one is France Excellence S2. So the program is intended for Indonesian students with a profile of excellence and also willing to continue their studies at master level for the first or the second year of master or both of them. It is also open to all fields of study. And for that one, the eligibility conditions are you have to be Indonesian and the age limit is up to 30 years old or less. You have to hold a bachelor degree at least. You have to present a profile of excellence and a strong motivation to continue your studies in France. And such as the previous one, you have to be already accepted by a French higher education institution for the following year. And you should not receive a scholarship from another party. The, the application prerequisites are the same from the previous one, but the calendar for the registration is a little bit different. It will be on June and July, and you will get the results at the end of July. So 1 month after the beasiswa D3 S1. For that one, the amount is up to 5,000 euros. I mean the tuition fees, So it means that if you need to go to a school, it will cover 5,000 euros. If the tuition fees of the school are up to, let's say, 6,000 or 7,000, you will still have to pay 1 or 2,000 euros. It will also cover the student visa fees, the CVEC, so the campus life contribution, and also priority access to the student residence, which is a great privilege in France because it's hard to find an accommodation sometimes. Um, the next one, please. So from that one until the end, it will be for all the international students. All right. So that one is very interesting because this is the most recent of our scholarship. That one is co-financing um, between the Development Bank and the French government. So for that one, the program is that the IDB and the French government are jointly launching a scholarship program for students applying to study in France. So it aims to support students from IDB member, including Indonesia or another country in Southeast Asia, I think Malaysia as well, throughout the duration of their studies with the support of Campus France. This scholarship is given to students in the form of a loan. It means that beneficiaries are required to repay 50% of the amount of the scholarship. And then this amount collected will be recycled into new scholarships offered to students from your country. Um, that scholarship is open to 27 fields of study, including social sciences, engineering, economy, education, sustainable agriculture, climate changes, biodiversity, and so many things. If you want to apply for that scholarship, and for the prerequisites, you will find them on the IDB website. I will share it on the chat box after my presentation. The amount of and the benefits of that scholarship. So there is two parts, as this is a co-financing. So from the IDB, you will get all the travel expenses, um, mainly a round trip ticket up to 1,100 euro, and a monthly allowance of 700 euro. So 700 euro per month. And from the French government, it will cover the student visa fees, the tuition fees for a public higher education institution, the CVEC fees, and also a priority access to the university residents. The next one, please. Okay, so that one is called MOCPA, Make Our Planet Great Again. That is also very interesting. That scholarship is an initiative of the French president, Emmanuel Macron, and it has been launched on 2017 following the decision of the US to leave the Paris Agreement. So it is a call for the researchers, the professors, association, NGOs, students to join France um, to lead the fight against the global warming. So it aims to welcome master's students in 4 fields of study, such as the climate change and sustainability science, the energy transition, the earth system sciences, and societal challenges of environmental issues. For that scholarship, the eligibility condition are you have to hold or in the process of obtaining a bachelor's degree, um, and you should not have resided in France after the 1st April of 2019. Sorry. And for the application prerequisites, you should hold a passport or an ID card, a CV, your most recent diploma, a cover letter, and also a master degree letter of acceptance approved by the French institution, and also the transcripts of your last 3 years of studies, and if possible, that is optional, a recommendation letter. The benefits are around 1,190 euro per month. Um, and the travel expenses, such as a round trip ticket, and also the health insurance. Okay, next one, please. And the last one. So that one is called FL Excellence. It is also for all the international students. That one is developed by the French Ministry of Europe and Foreign Affairs to enable French higher education to attract the best foreign students at master level, including the engineering schools and the doctoral level also. There are four major fields of study: law, economy and management, science, and political science. So this scholarship has two components. The first one for the master's degree, there is a possibility to finance your master's degree from 12 to 36 months. And for the PhD, uh, there is a possibility to finance from uh, up to 12 months of mobility as part of a course supervision of a thesis, and your stay of 12 months can be split in 2 or 3 stays maximum. Um, for the master's degree, there is an age limit up to 30 years old or less, and the PhD 35 years old. There is an important information. There is only one application sent by the French establishment. So it means that there is only one applicant for one establishment. And what else about that one? Uh, yes, the benefits. This scholarship will not cover the tuition fees, but there is a monthly allowance. For the master's degree, it will be up to 1,100 euro, and for the PhD level, 1,400 euros. And for the two sections, it will cover the the student visa fees and the travel expenses at the international level, such as a round trip ticket. To the local level, there is a reimbursement up to 50 euros if you need to take the train, for example, from your accommodation to the airport. And so it will cover all the travel expenses. And also, very important, it will give you a social protection from Campus France until you join a French social security, plus the health insurance. And next one, please. So I made it short today because we only have 10 or 15 minutes. But if you need more information, you are very welcome. And you may visit Campus France INA on Instagram, or also visit our internet website that you can see on the top. And next, please. Oh yes, we just upload an article on our website yesterday in Indonesian and French version. If you need more information about all the scholarship that I talked about today. Okay, thank you all, and wish you the best for all your application. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Silvan, for your presentations. Before we proceed to the next one, I would also like to greet the staffs from Campus France Indonesia. In the chat box, you may have interaction with them, and some of the members from Campus France Indonesia is answering your questions. So feel free to ask questions. We will have a Q&A session after the third presentation. So now I would like to give the floor to our second speaker, who will be delivering a presentation on study in Ireland. Hello, Miss Carol, you may have the floor. Hello, Miss Carol. For committee, could you please unmute Miss Carol, please?
Hi everyone, sorry, thank you for that. A little technical glitch there, no problem. Slamat siang everyone, it's great to be able to speak to almost 200 of you here. I'm very happy to present to you a little crash course introduction on studying in Ireland. Apologies, my camera isn't working today, but the PowerPoint is available in front of you, and if you cannot see it, it will be made available to you shortly. I understand that Ireland might not be as well known as an education destination in comparison to some of our other European neighbours, but I assure you that the next few minutes will be enlightening, and hopefully you will be interested in our little country and our little part of the world after it. Next slide, please. So why come to Ireland? Well, not only is it in Europe, and not only do we offer scholarships to students, but it's a small, safe tourist destination that's very popular with international students around the world. Could we go to the next slide, please? Thank you. We are an English-speaking country. We do have our own language, but for classes and day-to-day living, we communicate in English, so you don't need to learn Bahasa Irlandia, so please don't worry. We are also in the Eurozone, which will make travel to other destinations on your holidays and during breaks very easy on the continent. We are one of the top ranking destinations in the world in terms of the quality of our qualifications. Every one of our institutions which offer degrees at undergraduate and postgraduate level are ranked in the top 5% in the world across all disciplines. And we are ranked #1 in the world in nanotechnology and agricultural science, just to name but two. We're also a very friendly country. Owing to our size, owing to our tourism merits, it's a great part of the world to explore, and we've no doubt that you will have a great time there, along with a very big, large international student community currently studying there. Next slide, please. Oftentimes, people panic when they think of Ireland. It's too far away from Indonesia. How am I going to cope? It's not as close as other places. It's not as well known. Jangan khawatir. It takes just under a day to get there. We are right beside the UK and France, our closest EU neighbours. An hour away from London, an hour and a half away from Paris, and almost 2 hours to all other European destinations. And if you want to go further afield, America and Canada are about 7 hours away. So we're right in the center of all the action. It's a great place to explore, and it's not so far away from home. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Again, apologies for the quality of the slide. I guess it's just the Zoom and the small print, but we will pass on the information. Most people know our Ibukota, Dublin, which has the majority of our higher education institutions. However, it's not the only destination on our map. The Western Seaboard also has a number of universities and institutions of technology. Universities and the institutions of technologies and colleges in Ireland, we do not distinguish. They all offer the same level of degree qualification at postgraduate and undergraduate levels. So no matter what your destination, you will be emerging with a good quality degree. It just depends on where you want to explore and where you want to go. Many universities and institutions of technology have their own specialty subjects. For example, Galway in the west of Ireland is very world renowned in terms of medicine, but it's also got Ireland's National Film School and is a UNESCO School of Film. Dublin universities, among them are Trinity College, the oldest on the island, which was established in the 16th century. That has a very good reputation in terms of the sciences and performance arts. Dublin itself is a UNESCO World City of Literature, so it's a very good place to study literature and languages if that's what you are keen on. Next slide, please. But now, moving slowly but surely onto why we're all here, what the entry requirements are and the popular subjects. We do require a high level of English language, obviously, for communication, and IELTS, it's average about 6.5, but universities and institutions of technology will dictate what level that should be at. Apart from that, similar to our French colleagues, we will require, besides the language, previous transcripts from your education background and motivation letters. It's similar for visa applications, which I can go through shortly as well. We find that the Indonesian students that travel to Ireland gravitate towards business subjects, science subjects, and multimedia subjects in particular, although we do have people studying across all faculties from Indonesia, but they seem to be, interestingly enough, the most popular from people coming from Indonesia. One of the reasons that Ireland is a popular destination for students is what we can offer when you graduate. If you graduate with an undergraduate degree, you are automatically allowed to spend a year working after you graduate. If you finish with a postgraduate qualification, you are automatically entitled to spend 2 years working in Ireland. And during the course of your study, you are allowed work for up to 20 hours a week, which often provides very good work experience when entering the workforce afterwards. Next slide, please. One of the main reasons people do come to Ireland, and one of the main reasons we want to stay and or keep them there, is because we need employees from around the world. Ireland, and in Dublin in particular, is home to the headquarters of some of the biggest tech companies in the world. Now, this is IT, this is medical technology, and pharma technology in particular. We have Google, we have Medtronic, we have Twitter, we have Facebook, we have EA Games, we have PayPal, and we have Boston Scientific, all headquartered around the country. Dublin, for example, is known as the Silicon Docks because many of them have their headquarters around the River Liffey. So there is a demand for international students and international graduates in our country. So do consider this when looking at our courses. And you will find information on our courses on the Education in Ireland website. And this is a government initiative. Every course and every scholarship available in Ireland is available on the Education in Ireland website database. And I'll give you the instructions for how to access that in a slide or two. Next slide, please. So hopefully that has been attractive to you so far. And now we talk about the reason why you're all Zooming us today, the scholarships that are available. We have a number of options. The first is the Government of Ireland Scholarship, and this is a global programme. so it's quite competitive. But happily, we do have some Indonesian students who have been successful and are on their way to Ireland in the coming weeks. This is a very beneficial program. It includes all fees and a very good stipend of €12,000 a year. The opening date for this competition is the end of January every year. So do please keep an eye out for updates from Education in Ireland and from the Embassy on this. Now, I mentioned in the previous slide the Education in Ireland website, educationinireland.com. That, as I said, houses a database of all programs and scholarships that are available to you. So please do visit. It is your one-stop shop for all information. I'm running out of time, so I might skip ahead. If I can get to the next slide, please. Next slide, please. And I'll skip to the next slide. And finally, the next slide. Thank you so much. Apologies, it's lovely talking about this. So visa requirements, you will contact the embassy. Visas for Indonesian citizens are free of charge, so a fee does not have to be considered when you apply to us. If you do want to take note of what requirements are needed for student visas coming to Ireland, you can visit the government website for visas, inis.gov.ie, and I will put all these links in the chat. Next slide, please. And finally, next slide. That there is just a screenshot from the Education in Ireland website. Now, unfortunately, our main expert in the area, Miss Miranda Hawk, is not available today due to illness, so I had to take over, but happily so. However, if you do want to contact anyone about studying in Ireland and potentially getting there, Miss Miranda is the person to contact. Her details are there. They will be made available after this presentation. But for now, I want to say best of luck. I do hope you are interested in finding out more about Ireland and European destinations in general. It'll be a great adventure for you, and I look forward to hearing your questions. Thanks very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Komati. Thank you so much, Miss Carol, for your presentation. There are a few questions regarding the study in Ireland scholarships. However, we can discuss it on the Q&A session. Now, I would like to proceed and give the floor to the third presentation about Erasmus Mundus Joint Master's degree, which will be delivered by Miss Destriani Nugroho. Miss Destriani, you may have the floor. And for committee, please unmute Miss Destriani. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Agatha. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Ibu Carol, Sylvan, and also all the visitors. It is so good to see you all virtually. And I noticed that the visitors came from all over part of Indonesia, and I also see visitors coming from the Philippines, Malaysia, Vietnam, Singapore, and apology if there are also other countries that I have not mentioned. Thank you very much. So this afternoon, I will explain about the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master Degree. Erasmus Plus scholarship is funded by the European Union and the member of the European Union, including Ireland and France as well, and also other member countries. Before I continue, please let me know if my voice is on and off, then my colleague Elita will take over. Next, please. Let me explain to you a little bit about the Erasmus Plus. So the host, maybe you could enlarge the PowerPoint so that everybody can read, but let me read it for you. Erasmus Plus is the big program funded by the European Union, and it covers activities for education, training, youth, and also sport. And it covers varieties of activities, and one of them is the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master Degree. The Erasmus Plus also covers the credit mobility, or international credit mobility, or student exchange, but I will not explain it today. Erasmus Plus also covers university partnership for capacity building, but it is not the topic for today. Next, please. So today I will explain to you especially about the Erasmus Mundus Master Course. What is the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master Degree? The organization of this course consists of a consortium of universities, consortium of European universities. So basically, what do we mean by consortium? It consists of several universities from different countries, consists of European countries, but now it enlarged to other countries outside of Europe. For example, we will have the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master Degree running in Australia, in France, and Belgium. We also have some university in Canada, in the US. So how long is the master degree? It is 1 to 2 years. 1 to 2 years, so 1 year. The credit transfer system consists of 60 European credit transfer system. If the duration is 2 years, is 120 European credit transfer system. And the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master degree will last for 1 year, and you will graduate sometimes 1 year. And then I will post the link after my presentation. Next, please. Yes, the host perhaps you can enlarge the PowerPoint so everybody read. Yes, and the next, please. Next slide. Has the slide moved to the next one? Maybe while waiting, then maybe I could also explain the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master Degree is open for everyone in the world. And then the requirement is including the curriculum vitae, which is Europass version curriculum vitae, and then the English proficiency test. Sometimes they require you to submit TOEFL or either one of them. And then you have to submit the diploma. Your diploma will be translated in English. And the letter of recommendation. For those of you who are working, you will have to submit one letter of recommendation from your supervisor at the working company, and one wait. So you, for example, not working at the moment because you have just graduated. Then you will have to submit two recommendation letter from your university, from two different lecturers or professors. And then you will have to submit the motivation letter. Next, please. Yes, the presentation is the same like yesterday. Someone is asking. Yes, and the scholarship. No, I think previous, please. The requirement. So who can get access to the scholarships? Previous, please. So basically, it will be everyone from previous, please. Everyone from, yes, from non-EU citizens can apply for this Erasmus scholarship. But nowadays, European citizens could also apply for the Erasmus scholarships. And you are not registered in any of the EU European countries as citizen. And the third one, perhaps if you cannot read, I will read it for you. You have not reside in Europe for more than 12 months in the past 5 years. For example, your parents for studying for the other subjects. You stay more than 12 months, so you will not entitled for full scholarships from NANS. Next, please. Is the slide change? For me, it's not. So, yes, the slide change. 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 So, I'm sorry, everyone. Can you hear me now? I was having problem with my connection. Can you say yes if you? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, next, please. We have explained about the basic requirements. Next, please. We also have explained about who can apply for this, and perhaps the next slide is the how much is the scholarship. Erasmus Mundus. Next, please. Erasmus Mundus Master Degree for the awardees, and for how much is the scholarships? Before that, please. The scholarship is 1,000 euro for 1 month as the living allowance. You will also receive the tuition fee for 18,000 euro for 2 years. But if you study only 1 year, then you will receive 9,000 euro. You will receive also the travel allowance 3,000 euro. And why the travel allowance is quite generous? Because we expect that you will also move from one place to another, and you will receive the also the settlement allowance about 1,000. Okay, and the last slide, please. The graduate, the benefits for the scholarship, of course, that you will have the dual degree or triple or multiple degree. Does anyone know what multiple degree is? For example, that if you are studying into university, each of one will each university will issue a diploma, then you will get 2 diplomas. But the ideal situation is that Erasmus Mundus Joint Master Degree will issue a joint degree, which means that in one diploma you will have 2 residents of university that we call joint degree. So I think that's it, my presentation. You can also type your question, respond to your question. You can visit our booth, and there is live chat in the booth. You click on the button, and the alumni is standby there. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening, and wishing you all the best for applying for the scholarship.
Thank you, Kamati, and thank you, Ms. Destriani, for your presentation. So, dear participants, now we have 10 minutes of Q&A session. There are a few of questions already in the chat box, but during these 10 minutes, you may also add more questions. So, I already summarized questions for Mr. Sylvain, for Miss Carol, and also Miss Destriani. So the first one, I will kindly ask Mr. Sylvain to answer some questions, particularly I noticed 2 questions. First one, is it possible for master graduate to apply? And then the next question is there any scholarship to study for PhD in France? There are also other questions already covered by the campus France team. Mr. Sylvain,
Yes.
okay, you may
Can you
answer.
hear me? Okay. Sorry, what was the first one?
Is it possible for master degree
Oh,
to master graduate to apply for France and excellence master degree?
it should be possible, for example, if you only validated your first year of master degree, and if you would like to continue on your second year. But I suggest the students to contact us and to visit us for more information, because maybe it will depend of the scholarship, for example.
Okay. The next question is there any scholarship studying in France for a PhD?
Yes, there is some scholarship as the one that I presented lately, but you can find on Campus France website I will share the link on the chat just after the question. You can find a lot of offers for PhD in France. So I will write the link on the chat box just after that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Sylvain. Next questions. Committee, could you please unmute Miss Carol first? Okay, while waiting, Miss Carol, there are some questions regarding Walsh scholarship. And then there is also a question if there's a program, a PhD program for vocational education. The last question is, can somebody cover their tuition fee with doing part-time? So, Miss Carol, are you unmuted now? Okay, committee, could you please unmute Miss Carol, please?
I've been unmuted. Thank you very much. Great questions. Thanks so much for asking them. I did put some links in the chat box and some answers to those questions. So very quickly, the Walsh Scholarship, the closing date for that is actually the end of next month. So if you are going to apply, get your application started soon. It's a very competitive scholarship fund, and it's from Chagas, one of our agricultural agencies. And the reason why it's quite competitive is obviously because Ireland is a world leader in agri-tech and agricultural science. But interestingly enough, as you are probably aware, it's a priority for the Indonesian government too. So it would definitely be worth scoping out. The results are usually posted for June, or the scholarships issued in June, but the closing date is the end of September, so get started on that. PhD programs for vocational training, yes, there are. Ireland has quite a good reputation for vocational training, just from our rural and agricultural background. There's none specific, and I did forget to mention in the presentation that every university and every institute of technology in Ireland has its own scholarship scheme. So what you will need to do first is choose where you think you'd like to study. And from there on, you will then be able to have a look at what scholarship and funding opportunities that particular college offers. And again, the easiest way to start that look, to start that research, is the educationinireland.com database. And that should be your guiding light. Can you cover fees by working part-time? Technically, yes, but you have to be able to pay at least 50% of the fees before you leave. That is a stipulation by the universities and by our government for the purposes of applying for a visa. But that's a very, very good question. I have to apologize. I have another seminar to go to now, so I have to leave. But if any of you have any additional questions, the chat room is open on our YouTube live stream, and you can contact Education in Ireland, Miss Miranda, or the embassy at any time. And I wish you the very best of luck, not only in your applications, but in your research too. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much, Ms. Carol, for giving the presentation and also for answering the questions. Best of luck for your next webinar. Now, if I may invite Ms. Destriani to answer the questions, perhaps the committee could unmute Ms. Destriani. For Ms. Destriani, there are a few questions, more technical questions. Does Erasmus Plus offer LLM programs? That is the first one. The second is there any opportunity to pursue PhD from Erasmus scholarship? And is there any age limit for it? Maybe those two questions first, Ms. Destriani. Committee, please unmute Ms. Destriani, please.
Thank you, Agatha. Thank you, visitor, for the questions. Is there any LLM program under the Erasmus? I will have to check, but whether the program is still ongoing, then I will paste here on the chat books, the catalog of the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master Degree. And then, is there any age limit for Erasmus Mundus Joint Master Degree? There is no age limit. Anyone can apply. Even for those of you who already have their master degree, they can reapply for the Joint Master Degree, Erasmus Joint Master Degree, with a strong justification why they would like to pursue another master. And then the question about the PhD, the European Union funding the PhD program through the Maris Sklodowska-Curie Action under the Horizon 2020, and you can download it, the application form and the opening of the PhD uh, under Euraccess also. After this, then I will also post it, the link to Euraccess, Maris Sklodowska-Curie Action, and the Erasmus Mundus catalog. Thank you, Agatha. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Destriani. Unfortunately, we only have 2 minutes left. So I would like to give several announcements first for participants. If you have any questions, you may contact the organizer by sending an email to aseaneu2020@gmail.com. However, as you may already receive in your email, there are sources of the webinar recording and also some presentations available. So you please kindly check your email, as a lot of information is already sent to you. So I think, sorry that we cannot cover and ask for all questions. And thank you so much. Once again, I would like to thank all honorable speakers, for Mr. Silvang, for Miss Carol, and also Miss Destriani. Thank you so much for giving presentations. For all participants, if you want to know more on the scholarships programs in this webinar, you may check the booth and visit the website or the digital platform on this third ASEAN EU Cooperation and Scholarships Day. Thank you so much for joining in the webinar number 5. I wish you good luck for your applications. Thank you and have a great day. Bye-bye.
through different areas of studying, different majors at different levels, both of private and public universities. You can find whichever area studies in English, because we offer many English programs, from international relations through technical studies until lesser known majors like perhaps computer games, for instance, computer games creation. The main scholarship program that we offer for Indonesian students, but also for many other ASEAN countries, is Ignacy Łukasiewicz Scholarship Program. That's a program we offer for master's degree in technical studies, like sciences, agriculture, forestry, and others. You have listed here. In order to apply, you need to have your bachelor degree S1 completed. The scholarship includes the waiver of the tuition fee and a monthly allowance of around $600. The studying itself lasts for 2 years. If you choose to study in English, or if you choose to study in Polish, you will study for 3 years, because the studying would also include 1 year of preparation program in Polish. The next deadline for application will be in April or May, so please make sure you don't forget to apply. There are many other scholarships as well. Some of them are provided by different universities. Some of them are provided by cities, both for bachelor and master degree. You need to do your research here, but in order to invite you for this research, we listed most of them or all of them at the website of the Embassy of Poland in Jakarta. And the link you can find here, but we will also paste this link to the comment section, or you can screenshot this website right now. Please go to this website to find about scholarships for bachelor degree, master degree, PhDs, and also postdoc grants. They're all there. Finally, a few words about the current situation in Poland. We accept visas for students already. Poland is fully open in that regard. Make sure when you apply to have the letter of acceptance from the Polish university, and legalized Indonesian diploma. You can find on our website how to legalize your diploma at the consular section. So again, thank you very much. We invite you to learn about studying in Poland. I want to underline that studying in Poland is very competitive, because even if you don't have a scholarship, you can, the cost of living is very low comparable to Jakarta. The tuition fee is much lower than many other countries in Europe, while the quality of studying is comparable. Please follow our social media, and see you in Poland.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Michal, for your presentation. Later, after the third presentations, we will have a Q&A session. So I would like to proceed to the second presentation. Will be delivered by Miss Emmy from Nuffic Neso, Indonesia. For committee, if you kindly unmute Miss Emmy, okay, and share the screen of Miss Emmy's presentation. And I would like to also greet all participants. I see some people write on the chat box that they are from Indonesia. So, however, I think a lot of students are also coming from different countries in Southeast Asia. So if you may introduce yourselves here in the chat box. For a committee, do we have Miss Emmy's presentation? Miss Emmy, maybe we can check. We can do an audio check first. Could you hear my voice? Okay.
Is it clear?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great.
Thank you so much.
Perhaps I can start introducing myself, if that's okay. Okay. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. My name is Emmy Mitasari, as a representative for Nuffic Neso Indonesia, which is study in Holland. So today I will deliver a presentation about study in Holland. So if you have any questions, I see here my colleagues, a few of my colleagues are also are here, so perhaps they could also answer some of your questions in the chat box. Thank you.
Thank you. For committee, could you please share the presentation from Miss Amy to the screen? We also have participants coming from Philippines. So Indonesia, Philippines, maybe other countries. If you may write down where you come from, so we can see like how many countries are joining. Okay, another one from Indonesia. Hello. Okay, now we have the screen. So I would like to give the floor to Miss Emmy. Over to you, Miss Emmy.
Thank you again, Miss Agatha. So, who are we? NUVIC is a non-profit independent Dutch organization based in The Hague, the Netherlands. The organization supports for internationalization in higher education, research, and professional education in the Netherlands and abroad. NUVIC itself is funded by the Dutch government and has offices in 10 countries, which act as representatives of the Dutch knowledge sector abroad. These offices are located in Brazil, China, India, Indonesia, Mexico, Russia, South Africa, South Korea, Turkey, and Vietnam. So, what is Novik Neso? So, as a representative of offices of Novik in these countries are called NESO, which is a short for Netherlands Education Support Offices. Together with Novik, one of the key activities that we do is providing information about studying in Holland, promoting Dutch education and prospective students and stakeholders. At Novik NESO Indonesia, we also facilitate institutional cooperation, and also we manage a wide range of projects, organize events, and manage scholarships such as STUNET, Orange Knowledge Program, Orange Tulip Scholarship, and EU Share. We also act as a key facilitator for Holland Alumni Network. So before I start, is it already my next slide? Okay, I think I can just continue then. So why the Netherlands? Study in the Netherlands. So the Netherlands, also widely known as Holland, offers global services and has attitude of openness towards the rest of the world. It is open to conducting business while also being open socially and culturally. This makes the Netherlands ideally suited for receiving people who seek to enrich their knowledge through studying abroad. Since the location itself is very strategic, the Netherlands is located in the center of Europe. It is very easy to travel, and it's a perfect point to travel to other European countries. So, as English is one of the common languages used in Holland, the country ranks the first place for very high proficiency of English according to EF English Proficiency Index 2019. 95% of Dutch population speaks English, so it means 9 out of 10 Dutch people speak English, and it's very easy to communicate in locals in daily life. Dutch University also offer largest number of English taught programs in continental Europe, with over 2,000 programs are taught entirely in English. With a wide range of English programs, it is also one of the reasons why Holland is popular among its international students. To date, there are more than 110,000 international students. Today, Holland's many international students come from more than 160 students. 160 different countries, and this makes Dutch society is very international. So yeah, this international character means that the Dutch generally tolerant and open about different cultures and also beliefs. Um, Other than that, Holland is also known for its quality of education. Some of the best universities are ranked as the top 200 worldwide. And in Holland, universities in the Netherlands are mainly divided into types of universities. There are research universities and universities of applied sciences. For research universities itself, there are 14 and 36 of universities of applied sciences, which are funded by the Ministry of Education, Culture, and Science. For research, universities known as WO in Dutch are mainly responsible for offering research-oriented programs in an academic setting. They offer programs in various fields, and the study program itself offered at these universities vary ranging from bachelor's, master's, to PhD to short courses. For universities of applied sciences, or also known as HBO in Dutch, offer programs that focus on the practical application of arts and sciences. So their goal is to the transfer of theoretical knowledge and the development of skills for practical application. Normally, it will take 4 years for bachelor's, 1 to 2 years for master's, and similar to research university, they also have short courses. So aside from that, you also have the same opportunity as to those who already lives in Europe. So you have opportunity to work, of course. So for non-European Union nationalities, one of the requirements is that you do need a work permit before you may work in the Netherlands. It is mandatory that your employer applied it for you. So students are only allowed to work for a limited number of hours, that is maximum 16 hours per week. But however, during summertime, that is June until August, you are allowed to work full time. Working after studies, it's also possible. So international graduates also have the opportunity to apply for a ZUCYAR, or also called orientation year visa. This is a residence permit for those who would like to stay in the Netherlands for 1 year and to find a job. So, or even start a business for after their studies. So within 3 years of the graduation, they can apply for this visa. Next, please. Although the tuition fees are not free in the Netherlands, Dutch universities offer a reasonable tuition fees and considerably lower than in most English-speaking countries. For average students, for non-European Union students, the average tuition fees are 6,000 euros to 15,000 euros for bachelor's, and master 8,000 euros to 20,000 euros. For the cost, living costs, students spend an average of 800 euros until 1,100 euros. Now, when it comes to financing your studies in Holland, there are several options to choose from self-financing, applying for scholarship,